Hi, welcome everyone. I welcome all the students to this webinar. My name is Lloyd. Along with me, I also have Siddharth today, who will be taking up this webinar and introducing our 3D experience platform solution for the KPIT Sparkle program. Okay. So our association with KPIT is we from Dassault Systemes. We have associated with KPIT as a cyber physical systems partner. So here we actually call Dassault Systems as a 3D experience company. We provide businesses and people with virtual universes to imagine sustainable innovations. So collaboration between Dassault Systems and KPIT will help the participating teams to build virtual twins and help them imagine, engineer, and experience cyber physical systems and perform what-if analysis. So this will help students to be more efficient in their modeling and simulation workflows, thereby maximizing productivity and be more confident in the quality of final physical prototypes, which you guys are going to build. So a small introduction about me. As I said, my name is Lloyed Monteiro. By designation, I work as an industry process consultant for Dassault Systems India from past 3 years. So I work with many of Indian industrial suppliers to improve their existing design practices and methodologies. And I also help industrial suppliers to implement new initiatives such as virtual verification, model-based systems engineering, additive manufacturing, and other cloud-based solutions. To coming to expertise, I work with many of the upcoming electric vehicle startups and also the drone startups in India to kind of put in place the innovation, and I also work with all other associated OEMs, startups, and suppliers to help them adopt and set the design or manufacturing marketing processes, which kind of includes industrial design, 1D simulation, multidisciplinary engineering, and digital marketing. So this is a short introduction about me. We also have Siddharth Prabhakar with us. Siddharth, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, good evening. I'm Siddharth Prabhakar. I also work as an industry process consultant here in Dassault Systems India. I have been associated with Dassault Systems from the past about 2 years now. And what I mainly work on is towards the electric vehicle aspects and mainly towards the MBSE solutions that we have. My main expertise lies towards structural and thermal simulation, 1D simulation, and also with 3D modeling as well. And yeah, mainly I work with Ketia and Simulia apps, and I've worked with quite a few startups in trying to validate their electric vehicle data and trying to do a complete scenario check for them, validating their data and helping them to further build the detailed models of their battery and motor modeling as well. Yeah, with that, I think we can get started.
Yeah, thank you, Siddharth.
Thank you.
So without taking much time, I'll just run through the agenda for the webinar today. So we'll just discuss a brief background, and after that, we will see what are the trends and challenges associated with the EV market as of today. And then we will see what is the solution that from Dassault Systems side we provided on the 3D experience platform for the upcoming startups. Then we will discuss about the solution enablers and practices, and then we'll try to understand how this program helps KPIT Sparkle agenda. And then we will see some of the success stories or references which we have who have achieved their success with the 3D experience platform. So before I get started, a small slide about Dassault Systems. So we are a purpose-driven company. We combine art, science, and technology to build and imagine a more sustainable world. So we are a passionate team of more than 20,000 people, ranging from different 140 nationalities across 195 sites. So we have one global R&D which is located in Vélizy, France, and we have other 69 supporting lab across the globe, among which two of the biggest labs are in. One is at Pune and one is in Bangalore. So we are a very long-term driven company. So we have a vision. Okay, so we have a major stake in the business as well. And we are also partnered with more than 12,600 partners who help us in software technology and architecture, or for content or providing online services, and who also do the consulting, and who are our system implementers across manufacturing industries, research and education systems as well. And we are also very proud to say that more than 270,000 customers, that means the industries across 11 industries in other 140 countries, more than 25 million users of our software or solution who are using the 3D experience platform, who kind of use it on a daily basis to improve that productivity across the design streams. So this is a small introduction about Dassault Systems. So also to begin the to set the context, I'm just flashing a slide where you can see very numerous vehicle models. So these are all the electric vehicles, and these are all the upcoming startups. To just guess a few, you can already see Tesla, Canoo, Romeo, GLM, Rimac, Go Green in the two-wheeler space, Newton Auto, Chrysler Electric. So these are all our customers who are actually leveraging 3D experience platform power, to build their EV journey and for the success of it. Remarkably mention over here, so the Newton Auto and the Go Green BOV. So these are the Indian startups who are actually working on the electric vehicle development. So this is a short slide giving you a customer reference. Okay, so they are all using our e-mobility solutions provided by Dassault Systems on 3D experience platform. So coming to discuss trends and challenges. So what are the industry mega trends today? So earlier we were using all the ICE engines, that is internal combustion engines, right? So from now we are moving away towards zero emission. We are trying to achieve zero emission. So from where we are moving from fuel to hybrid, okay, that is by developing a completely electrified powertrain. Okay, so then we are also promoting green mobility usages, right? Earlier we needed a driver to vehicle, kind of driver vehicle, but now this is not the same scenario. So you might have come across Uber or Google testing, and moreover Tesla. We're all working on 100% autonomous driverless system. So that is a huge trend right now. And also coming to the ownership of your vehicle, earlier everybody used to like to kind of own a car, which used to be a social symbol. But right now the trends are changing, that people, instead of owning a car, they just want to get a car on demand. To give an example, Uber and Ola are such services who are actually providing it in our country, but going forward we can see a major spike in this kind of trend, where autonomous vehicles will kind of take over the ownership, and the sharing on demand will be more. And also it's a very fast-paced ecosystem. What is happening is, earlier only the major OEMs, they used to kind of get into innovation and try to implement the system, but now the internet and the information science age, it has completely opened up the opportunities for everyone. So now there are so many new startups and small labs who are actually starting from very scratch, and trying to build a solution for these challenges. So these are some of the mega industry trends which are currently running. Next, coming to the future of mobility. So we already had sports car, luxury cars, maybe for the rural use or for the urban use, or for the taxis, or we had different park farm equipments, which were majorly dependent on the internal combustion engines as of earlier. But now it is shifting towards completely e-mobility. So now people want to make it automated, they want to make it autonomous, they want to make it driverless, and they want to make it a go green solution, such that they want to eliminate the ICE and put the electric powertrain to make it an electric vehicles. Okay, and going forward in the future, this is going to be a more huge trend. And all the countries across the world, all the major OEMs, everybody is working together to this common cause. So what is the e-mobility market? Okay, so we have Tesla versus Lamborghini pictures over here. So it's a huge difference, right? So Lamborghini is known as one among the fastest cars, at least if I'm not wrong, is the second fastest car in the world, which is based on an ICE. But now we have Tesla. right, which is giving a huge competition, which can rev up to 0 to 100 from just 2.2 seconds. So that is the kind of performance which is achieved on the electric vehicles now. So this kind of provides you kind of world of opportunities for the innovation. So many people have tried, so many people have tried and they have failed it miserably, but the innovation is happening from last 10 20 years in this regard, but the pace is catching up now, and the trend and the progress is more from last 3 to 4 years. So this mobility is a strong market, right? So many of the startups, they are very small, they're starting from scratch, but there are already huge OEMs who are working and kind of developing their plans. So it's a very competitive market to be in. So what are the success factors? To succeed, one needs change and innovation. So these are the only keys which will make you an out of the box thinker and help you in your journey. What again, to when I say innovation, what kind of innovation it is required? So we need new level of performances are required. So let's say now Tesla is standing out as an out of the box player, and they're far more superior than anybody else in this technology. Now to beat them, what can actually we do? We need to have the same technology which they have access to, and with that we will be able to kind of build a competitive product which can even give a competition to Tesla. So what next? So the complete generation, it's kind of changing. Now we know what is ADAS, connected cars. People are talking more about it, and it's kind of helping economy by giving a business or idea to develop different business models. Okay, so that's what's happening. And the main important part is the consumer experience, whatever that is being developed now. Earlier it was not like that. Whatever you had a need, and people would just build something, and the users had no other option, and they had to use that particular product. Whereas now, that's a completely it's a reversal, I could say. Here everything is customer oriented, because everything is designed or implemented based on the customer experiences. Okay, so this kind of drives the entire business. So everybody who's first going to design a product or a EV or a drone or whatever for that fact, everybody first puts them in customer shoes and think, okay, if I am a customer, what exactly that I need from the market? So it's a consumer experience, which is actually playing a very vital role right now. And next, investment in manufacturing should be done wisely. So we all know how difficult or how much cost it costs us to build a manufacturing facility, right? Or if something goes wrong, it kind of results us in a huge loss. So whatever investments that we are going to kind of make in manufacturing, it should be a very wise investment. And the technology which we are actually using should help us to take up that decision on how we can kind of bring out our end product to life. Okay, next, coming to e-mobility accelerator solution overview. So we will see what is a e-mobility startup cycle or life cycle. Okay, so majorly here we kind of have 5 different phases. Okay, so coming to the first phase, it's discover and validate. So what do we do? So first here, if I'm starting, if I put myself in a startup shoes and think, if I want to build up a EV, what is that I want to achieve? How I want to achieve my dream vehicle or dream product that I want to build? So I start with my first concept, right? So that is my discover and validate. The next phase would be development. Now I have done my first prototype. How can I scale up to number of units per this year? I know, like now my immediate goal is to build 100 units per year. Now I have done my concept, I know how it works. Now how can I scale up, right? Is there any performance improvement, or for that fact any other improvement that I need to do? So people will give me the reviews and how I can actually product process, right? So that will actually become our second phase. In the third phase, it's efficiency. Once I have done my 100 units, I have more number of reviews coming in saying that people are giving me reviews. Okay, boss, you have built your electric vehicle, but the battery kinds of heats up. It is very impossible to sit inside the car. But that's not the end of the journey for us, right? We actually want to, grow along with the customer and build a journey as well. So now if I want to move from 100 units to 1000 units per year, what are my challenges? What are the different things that I need to actually consider while upscaling? Do I need to, kind of make any changes to my design, or how will I, upscale my manufacturing facility? How will I, kind of improve myself so that I can actually deliver? So that's where the efficiency phase will come in. Next, the growth part. Now, if you're manufacturing 1000 units per year, now you have a very strong product in the market which is actually competitive. Now, how are you actually planning your growth? Okay, when you're actually planning such kind of growth from 1000 units to, a lakh units per year, so many things come into picture. Let's say a project management, because you will be handling so much number of employees, the number of parts will be more in the system. How are you actually going to plan it? For that factor, if you're going to manufacture, maybe you want to build a separate virtual line, or just in, you want to implement different manufacturing process because you're upscaling, right? It's a huge organization now. How are you actually going to plan? That is going to be a fourth phase. And finally, once you are kind of established in the market, you have a proper vague product which is a perfect viable product in the market, and people are actually liking and using it. How are you planning to upscale yourself? Now maybe you had one variant, now you want to bring out an entire model, but you have all the experiences and the products at hand. That is where you reach the mature phase. Okay. So this is actually a startup life cycle. This is how startups kind of work. Okay, in phase-wise manner, they kind of expand themselves in phase one, phase two, phase three, phase four, and then phase five, where they kind of reach the maturity. So below are some of the our customer startups who are actually working on a different EV product for a different kind of use case. Maybe it's a autonomous car, or maybe it's a luxury car, or for that fact it's also in a a sports car. Companies or these startups, they're kind of targeting these different customer bases. Okay, so one customer who has already passed all these five phases and is ahead in the race is Tesla. Okay, so you're all aware about it. So yeah, what are the challenges? So first is we need to build the minimum viable product. Okay, why it is required? We all know startup journey is not easy, because everyone needs investment capital to kind of support their innovation and bring that product to the market. Okay, that's why a MVP, minimal viable product, is building a MVP is very necessary. Next is we need to kind of fit the market. How? Why? Because we might have some angel investors, right, who can actually support us in our initial stages. But as you start growing in such an industry, you would need more and more and more and more capital to expand yourself. So to attract these early adopters and to start selling your products, you need to kind of do this fit the market as well. Then you need to start filling the gap. So what do? You kind of start expanding the market share and go global. Let's say now you started somewhere in India in one particular stage, in one particular state. Let's say you have started it in Mumbai. Now you slowly expanded your bakes from Mumbai to entire Maharashtra. Now slowly expanding from Maharashtra to entire India. Now you think, okay, now I'm a good player in the market and people like my product. Why don't I actually expand it to very high scale and think global? So that's called filling the gap that you actually need to do. Okay, so how you can actually achieve this? So these were the business drivers, right? So how actually can you achieve this business drivers? So one thing is to build a minimum viable product. You need to deliver the results very quickly during the concept validation. How you can achieve it? You can achieve it by designing your product right the first time. That's where the platform kind of starts helping you. Okay, you need to kind of deliver different solutions for differentiating factors. Okay, for this you need to kind of have a very imaginative creativity. Okay, But how are you going to unleash? Again, you can use 3D experience platform. With the help of 3D experience platform, you will be you'll be achieving all these dreams. Okay. So to fit the market, you need to kind of reach your best for performance, and to again you need to give your best performance, and to reach your target audience, you need to have a very optimized technology platform, and also you need to kind of deploy the digital marketing to reach to your target audience. That's where you kind of fit the market. Finally, again, to fill the gap, so whatever market reacts, let's say you have more number of orders, you need to kind of match those numbers as well, right? So you need to match that, you need to also improve your manufacturing flexibility, right? So for this, you need to kind of stay agile and adopt modularity, and you need to also adopt lean and flexible production solutions as well. So this is where actually 3D experience platform comes and plays a major role. Okay. So how 3D experience platform will help you? It will help you in adopting to it will give you the engineering capabilities. It will help you in being creative and explore your creative designs. Okay. It will provide you the smartest systems to reach your best performance. It will help you even in marketing and sales to reach your target audience. Okay. And it has a very rich portfolio and programs to support your market responsiveness, and it has a complete manufacturing kind of virtual manufacturing building facility, which will kind of help you to decide and upscale your manufacturing as well. So this is how you can actually describe your business drivers, and how you can how it actually affects in your startup journey. Okay. So these are the phases I kind of explained, like how engineering, creative design, smart systems, marketing and sales, portfolio and programs, manufacturing, how they kind of play a vital role during your different stage of phases. Like for the discover and validate phase to maturity, engineering and creative design is always needed. Whereas you can kind of embrace smart systems when you're actually getting into the development stage. You can actually uh, get into marketing and sales to kind of prove your efficiency in the marketing in the third stage. So and so this process continues. Okay. So after discussing all this, what are the major development challenges, right? So considering we are all building an electric vehicle, there are certain drawbacks and advantages as well, right? So I see in some terms is advantageous considering some factors, but whereas electric vehicle is kind of advantageous in some facts, and it also gives us certain setbacks as well. So coming one by one, discussing for powertrain. So we know to build a powertrain for an IC, it usually takes 5 years of development time, and top of that, it requires high maintenance, and only 25% of the efficiency can be achieved, and also the torque kind of it offers is very gradual, right? And okay, when it comes to electric, when you're building an electric powertrain, it's a very short development cycle to build your entire electric powertrain. Okay. And it gives you zero maintenance, and it also gives you very high 89 to 95% of efficiency, right? And the best part is, the moment you step your foot on the pedal, the vehicle just flies. That's because of the immediate torque, uh, because the transmission is kind of eliminated, right? Again, coming to IC, we all have the fuel tank. Filling time is very less. Just by 2 minutes, you'll have the fuel, and your vehicle can travel another 1,000 kilometers, right? That's possible in just 2 minutes. And for that, again, you don't need to maintain anything. Okay. But again, the drawback here is when you're going for the battery, your battery weight is very, kind of, first of all, it's very high. And also the amount of power it gives you, or the energy it gives you, is very less, right? And top of that, one has to completely wait. The filling time or the charging time of the battery is very long, right? And also it requires periodic maintenance as well. So again, going to the electrical or cooling and HVAC or body chassis, it all kind of has its own pros and cons. But electric vehicle is more dominant, and people are actually preferring it because of the mega trends which are actually happening now. Okay, so we will see here in the fourth part, solution enablers and practices, we will exactly see how 3D experience platform, or how this electromobility accelerator solution which Dassault Systems has, how it can actually help the startups to kind of begin their journey. Here I would like to hand over the session to Siddharth, where Siddharth will guide you, kind of explain you what are the solution enablers and the best practices that have been followed in the industry. Over to you, Siddharth.
Sure. Thank you, Lloyd. Thank you for the explanation on the different phases that are there in a startup. Yeah, so I'll just start sharing my screen. Yeah, I hope my screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, Siddharth, we can see your screen.
Okay. Yeah. So what I'll be doing is I'll be going into the individual aspects of these different phases that we just saw, the development and validate, discover and validate phase, and the development phase, and individually what are the solution enablers that we provide, and how we have bundled up all of these solutions that help in achieving these steps in a much more faster way. So what we'll be doing is we'll be starting off with the first one, which is the development, the discover and validate phase. So inside the discover and validate phase, what we basically have is the engineering and the creative design enablers. Now inside them is where you actually come in with the 3D experience platform itself. Now with the engineering enabler that we have, so what we do is we provide you an online engineering platform. What we do is we provide you a ready to use and a collaborative environment wherein you can directly start building your complete applications. You have a complete integrity between CAD and simulation. You can easily collaborate. You can easily start building your 3D models. And what it helps in finally doing is it helps in boost your productivity, mainly because the complete data sharing aspect and all is very much taken care of in the 3D experience platform. So you can stay focused on your business while easily be able to share data between the customers and with your teammates and collaborate much more easily. Again, the second aspect that engineering enabler that it has is the collaborative digital mockup. Now, what it does is it easily provides you a digital mockup, and it helps in speeding up the vehicle integration process itself. Now, what this also helps in doing is it helps in enabling to detect a lot of issues and errors that might come up in the early phase of the development cycle itself. Due to the capability of the platform, the 3D Experience platform of coming up with a complete collaborative digital mockup, it helps you in saving a lot of time, plus also fixing all of these errors at a very early stage of your development cycle. The next enabler that we'll be talking about is creative design, which also is in the development and validate, the discover and validate phase itself. Now here what we have is you have styling design and immersive visual experience. Now what we have with styling design is so you can start with a 3D design part. So not a 2D design modeling, but a 3D sketching itself you can do. And then you can take that model and you can go into the detail and finally do a 3D rendering. So if you see the image on the left hand side, you can see the start of it from a 3D sketch, and eventually you can end up with a complete 3D rendering part. So this is what the capabilities the platform helps in providing you. And all of this can be done while still keeping the complete design intact. So what you start off with your 3D sketching, you can just build upon it and eventually end up with a complete 3D rendering model, which can be further used in other development or other processes of your startup itself. And apart from that, we also have immersive visual experience, which is basically helping you in providing a real-time rendering and also AR and VR capabilities that you could use. So where this is helpful is mainly in showcasing a product which is under development to your customers or to your stakeholders or maybe investors. So this is a very good way in having them to understand what your product is and how it is different from the rest of the products in the market, and to get them a feel of what the product is going to be eventually. So having these AR and VR capabilities is very helpful for the discover and validate phase, because that is where you try to tap the market, and it is a very important tool to have at handy. And so once we are done with the discover and validate phase, so as you saw, we basically had only engineering and the creative design enablers. So once you're done with that, that is, you have come up with the product itself. So as Lloyd had explained earlier about the discover and validate phase, wherein you try to come up with a concept, you try to model, and you try to develop a product and take a path basically, and then you start entering the development phase, wherein you start building a certain number of prototypes, a certain number of quantity you start providing to the industry. So I think about 100 or 200 units a year you start building them. So that is when you enter into more detailed analysis of your components. You would need a since it's actually going into the market, you will have to do a lot of other market related studies as well. And as we had also discussed earlier, your components are becoming smart and very connected. So we have a solution enabler called smart systems as well. So we will be going into the details of them now. Again, why you have engineering and creative design is because as the development cycle, as the phases change for a given startup, your products start becoming more complex, and eventually you'll have to start doing a lot more simulations and a lot more detailed understanding of your components as well. So what we'll see here is the engineering enabler here. Now, what you see here is the vehicle architecture and early packaging. You have something called as 3D master, tooling design and manufacturing validation. Then you have alternative and design evolution management. So what vehicle architecture and early packaging does is basically accelerate your vehicle packaging and architecture by preliminary layouts. So you'll have a few layouts which you could try to build up, and you could reuse them for your detailed modeling, and you could build a complete vehicle architecture from systems level to the complete vehicle integration itself. And then you have something called as 3D master. What it does is replaces your 2D drawings with the full 3D master process. So from your conceptual design to the detailed design, and you can actually go into the manufacturing phase of it. So this is what the 3D master helps in doing, because eventually your products are becoming more and more complex. You cannot try to manage all of it with the 2D drawings. You will be going into more detailed and much more faster ways of achieving all of these scenarios. The next what you have is tooling design. So what you do here is you take into account the tooling constraints that will be present. So why this is to be done in an early stage is because once you're actually entering the development cycle, you'll have to set up a basic manufacturing plant and all of these things. And if you do all of these things later on, that is your tooling aspects, you might end up with a manufacturing plant that might have a lot of issues. So it's always better to try to simulate them virtually and then go into the manufacturing phase. So with the 3D experience platform, you have that benefit as well, wherein all of the tooling constraints and the manufacturability aspect is also taken into account during the modeling and the simulation process itself. Apart from that, you have alternative and design evolution. Now that you're actually entering the market, you will have a few alternatives that you choose from, and over a period of time, you might end up with a lot of iterations, a lot of different alternatives. So you will have to keep a track of them as to which design alternatives are to be used, and how you have to do that is something called as traceability. Now, with the 3D Experience platform, this is a very good benefit that we have is the traceability aspect. Mainly, you can have a traceability. So if you can see the image on the left-hand side, you have one given component and three different alternatives of it. So there's something called as requirements management, wherein all these requirements can be traced back from all these change management and everything based on any change that you do in your design, what all other components or what all other design parameters is it affecting. So those are a few things which you can do. And coming to the smart systems here. So in smart systems, what you have mainly is simulation for mechanical designer. Then you have electric vehicle performance optimization, battery cell and pack simulation. Now, in simulation for mechanical designer, the benefit of the 3D experience platform can be mainly seen here because you have your CAD and your simulation integrity. Since everything is present on the platform and it's a role-based approach, so based on whatever simulations you're doing, all of them can be completely integrated with CAD itself, and it's an on-demand, so it's a virtual on-demand computational resource, and you can easily deploy different simulation methods. If it's a thermal simulation, if it's a fluid simulation, if it's a structural simulation or an electromagnetic simulation, so all of these can be easily done on the platform. And apart from that, you can validate parts and assembly and have that complete integrity with your CAD itself. And specific to electric vehicle performance optimization, so we have a complete workflow set up in order to do this particular validation and optimize of an electric vehicle, how we do that. So we have something called as energetic dimensioning that we do, wherein we try to validate a few basic parameters for your given electric vehicle or your given EV. And then you can further go into systems modeling and go into the detail of these battery packs and battery control and an electric drivetrain. And you can give in more complex uh, data that you can feed in, and you can run simulations for them. So you can run simulations for your range estimation, loss estimations. You can do a complete SOC, state of health of the battery. You can do simulations for them. So a lot of these details you can go into. And apart from that, focusing on battery cell and pack simulation, what you have here is you can predict the related battery warranty cost. And this is mainly because of the aging simulation that we have as a part of the mathematical modeling. Now, to give you a brief what aging simulation is, you have something called as battery aging that happens in a battery. And there are two types of aging. One is called as a cyclic aging and the other is a calendric aging. Now, to give you a little more input on what cyclic and calendric aging is, basically, cyclic aging is with the charge and discharge cycles that you have for your given battery cells and your battery pack itself. With time, the amount of charge that the battery can hold will reduce due to some of the internal degradation that happens over a period of time. So you might have heard a lot of people saying that a electric vehicle battery might be replaced by 10 years. After every 10 years, you will have to replace these battery. So these are a few simulations that you can do. And as a manufacturer, you can come up with a battery cell aging simulation. You can come up with a time period as to how long your battery will last and accordingly give out these warranties and everything for your given battery pack. And apart from that, you could also do something called as a co-simulation, wherein you could come up with these thermal plots using the mathematical modeling, and then you could connect it with your thermal modeling and do a complete thermal simulation of your battery pack and your battery cell as well. So you could see how the temperature between the cell is varying, how the battery pack temperature is varying, how the casing temperature is varying. So all of those simulations you can enter into. And now in the marketing and sales domain, which is an enabler which comes in this part because you are in the development phase and your product is going to the market. So you, as a early based startup, you will have to focus on these things. You'll have to see how your competitors are performing. So what we have here is competitive intelligence and brand monitoring, and also you have marketing campaigns and event monitoring. Now, what they do basically is so monitor real-time brand image. So based on a few keywords that we have, you can run it on different social media platforms, and you can track how the performance or the response of the market is for your given product. And coming on to the next one, which is marketing campaigns and event monitoring. So what you do here is you try to do a sentimental analysis. For example, you have had a new car reveal or a new technology release that you have done for your given product. You can do a sentimental analysis as to how the market responses, how the competitors are performing, or how the competitors' responses or your product response to the market is. So these are a few things that you can track. And for an early based startup, this is definitely important because that is what gives them a path to further go on onto different solutions that they'll be eventually working on. And once you do come up with the development phase, you have the next phase, which is the efficiency. Now here again, you have engineering, creative design. So as you go on to the development phase, the complex these engineering and creative design systems, smart systems, marketing and sales, portfolio and programs and manufacturing. So as you grow as a company, eventually the number of people that you have or the products that you're making, they start getting diverse, and the amount of solutions or the detail your model goes into, they also start getting diverse. So accordingly, we have different enablers that help you in achieving these things based on the given phase that you are as a startup. So as a startup who's something going into the efficiency phase, you in the engineering enabler, you have something called as ergonomic studies. You have body in white and fasteners. Then you also have the electrical engineering. Now, in the ergonomic studies, what you do is you get the driver in the loop. You try to perform simulations with the driver. You do a lot of analysis on those lines. You try to predict the posture and the safety requirements, because now that you are a company which will be serving a lot more customers worldwide or maybe India wide itself, you will have to focus on the safety requirements. You will have to match all the safety requirements that are provided by all of these government agencies. So you will have to try to validate them and have your products built in a way wherein these things are also considered now. And then you have body and white fasteners. So what you do here is you try to optimize the vehicle weight and reduce the number of prototypes. Now, why this is important is because the increasing demand and the increasing complexity of your product, you will have to optimize your product as well in terms of the weighting part of it, or in terms of the simulation aspects or safety aspects. You will have to run an optimization study. So we have different solutions on those particular lines as well, wherein you can run an optimization study and try to understand how your product is behaving with respect to different scenarios. And what this helps basically in doing is trying to reduce the number of prototypes or the physical prototypes that you'll be building. And as earlier we had talked about, and as you all know, right now cars are not only limited to a mechanical system, it is going into a lot more complexity. So you have a lot more electrical components that are a part of it. So what you can do here is, so the 2D schematics that you have for your electric circuit inside of your vehicle, you can directly generate a 3D generative harness. You can give in all the parameters and all the details, and then you can run an optimization study for the cable weight and the integration within the vehicle itself. So there's a lot more detail that you can go into definitely, but this is an overview of the electrical engineering aspect as well. And now in the creative design, what you have is a social collaboration and ideation. Now, what this is, we have something called as an ideation funnel, wherein you can try to validate when an idea is started, and eventually, if the idea, how the response is, and how the idea is performing, is it going forward. And in the ideation funnel, from the start of the idea till the end, you can track the complete traceability of it. What it helps in doing is it helps in inspiring creativity and also keep connect with the customer trends, and all of it works on the social media, social marketing intelligence that we have incorporated into the 3D experience platform. And next in the smart systems itself, so now we go into the requirements, parameters, and system model management, and then you have something called as multidiscipline optimization. Now in the requirements and parameters, what you have to do is you will have to do a complete requirements engineering. So how you basically develop a vehicle eventually is you will try to take up a few requirements, that is the product requirements, customer requirements, the stakeholder requirements, the safety aspects of the vehicle. So a lot of these parameters are considered, because now what is happening is your vehicle is becoming a lot more complex. So you cannot just manage it by a basic scenario. You'll need tools which help you in managing the complete change management that happens. Like earlier, I told, if, for example, you change one particular parameter or one particular requirement for your vehicle, you need to know what other things it is affecting. So in that case, you need an end-to-end traceability that helps in giving you an understanding how these complex systems can be managed. And apart from that, you will also have to enter the multidiscipline optimization, which is doing a lot more simulation, which is cross-domain simulations between mechanical, electrical, and fluid concepts. Since we all know our vehicles are becoming more and more complex and a lot more systems are being incorporated, so you will have to do a lot more multi-domain simulations. And definitely the platform has this option wherein you can do a cross-domain simulation between different applications like structural, thermal, 1D simulations and your CAD model. And what it will help you do is try to optimize, like for example, the range of the vehicle is something that you can definitely focus on as an EV startup. And then you have the weight of the vehicle, the noise and vibrations from the suspension or the vehicle dynamics aspect. So those are the things that you'll have to definitely go into eventually in this particular development phase. And this particular enabler helps in giving you a better understanding and a better complex detailed understanding of it. And now that you're entering into the marketing and sales, so eventually you'll end up with a lot more vehicles. And since the time to market is still there and you will have to reduce the time, so what you have is something called as a 3D Excite solution that we have, where you can use your existing CAD models in order to run complete marketing assert creation. Now, to give you an example, for example, you have a vehicle that you have, and it takes the time to produce the vehicle, and then you will have to go and once the prototype is ready, then you will have to take it to a location, try to do a little photo shoot, come up with marketing assets that you can further use in your different campaigns. With the help of this solution, what we do is with the CAD that you have created, you can do a realistic rendering of it, and you can create different scenarios, and you can do a complete you can create different assets, and then you can use them as your marketing creation for your marketing campaigns and everything. And then you have the digital marketing campaign. So boost your marketing campaign and brand awareness. So this is all also again integrated in your platform. So what they're trying to do basically is with the CAD that you have, that is the existing data, you could actually use them in a much more better way in order to get the complete efficiency of it. So you do not just leave your CAD for your prototype, you can also actually use it for your marketing and investor and different sales events as well. And then you can also use 3D Experience platform in order to run different events and reveal experiences. So this also helps in strengthening the brand image, because you will be able to track all the market sentimental analysis and get an understanding of how the market is responding to your given product experience platform. And with the AR and VR capabilities, it gives you a complete immersive experience itself. The next enabler that we have a part of it is portfolio and programs. So you have something called as projects and programs management. Now, what this helps you in doing is, since over a period of time you will end up with a lot more products and a lot more solutions, you will have to keep a track of your programs and projects. So this is where it helps you in. It helps you in providing a unified source of information for projects management and deliveries. Apart from that, you have modular portfolio management. So it helps you in deploying a strategy to maximize the vehicle platform. So in this case, they're focusing on the vehicle platform part of it, and helps you in reusing these components and optimize engineering development costs. So for example, if it's a particular component that you will be reusing between different products, or for example, different vehicles itself that you have these traceability and end-to-end solutions that you have that will help you in reusing these components and help you in saving a lot of development costs that you otherwise might not know about, or you will have to redo all of these things. And then you have a unified and configured DMU and BOM. So it helps you in keeping a development agility and efficiency with consistent configured DMU, which is digital mockup, and BOM is bill of materials, which is BOM, and structures and unified change management. So again, having an end-to-end traceability is the key. You will have to know what changes affects your components and how these can be managed. So end-to-end traceability is something which is very important for complex systems that you have right now in the market. And now that you're focusing more, so as a startup itself, you're growing, and I think about 100,000 units you'll be producing eventually. So you will have to definitely focus on the manufacturing aspect as well. Now, in the manufacturing, you have the manufacturing feasibility validation and final assembly and process planning simulation. Now, the manufacturing feasibility, as we had discussed earlier, you have the capability that in your CAD itself, you can do a lot of tooling simulations and try to understand if the tooling behavior would be possible or not for the given component that you're designing. So it basically helps you in early validate manufacturing feasibility for tooling, robotics, and assembly processes. And it also ensures the manufacturing validation. And this is all due to because the continuity that the 3D Experience platform provides from the design to the simulation to the manufacturing aspects. And the other part is final assembly and process planning simulation. So here you will be focusing on the process planning quality. So you will have to, so basically you'll be starting to set up different plants and different components that will come up in your this thing itself in your startup. You will have to improve the process planning quality by validating assembly process plans prior to the physical building. So basically, you will have to do a lot of virtual testing before you actually do a physical building or physical modeling of any of these components or any of these plants which you will be building eventually. So we do have two more phases, which is the growth and mature. So I think by now you would have gotten an idea as to what all we can provide and what are all the solutions that keeps on growing. So in the growth phase, again, you go into detailed engineering, smart systems, marketing and sales, portfolio, manufacturing. And once you're finally a mature company, you will have a lot more complex and a lot more things to take care of. So by the phase, each phase has different things that you need to focus on. And accordingly, we have those enablers, basically a bundle of solutions or a bundle of things that you have to do in order to keep up with the pace and try to move on to the next phase of the startup that you have. So that is what was this aspect. Next, we'll be taking a look at the different packages and the customer cases that we have. Lloyd?
Yes, yes. Thank you
Yeah,
so much, Siddharth.
thank you. I'll just stop sharing. You can present.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, before I start, can you see my screen? Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay, great. So, okay. So thank you so much, Siddharth, for explaining the entire solution enablers or the best practices. What are actually, the startups can follow in their startup journey in building the dream electric vehicle product. Okay, so you have already covered the entire end-to-end process from where we actually think about an idea, how we imagine it in our mind, and then how we actually get it into the reality, and in between what are the different processes or different other stakeholding things which one needs to keep in mind, which under comes under the each development phases. Thank you for covering all the solutions in detail. Thank you so much. So coming to the next part of our webinar today. So what is this accelerated program for KPIT Sparkle 2022 competition in association with Dassault Systems? So what exactly are we offering? So what is actually startups or the mobility innovators growth plan? One thing is they actually have that big vision, okay, and they start small. So all the participants who are in this session today, you already have started this first small step. So now the next thing, what you need to focus is how you can actually achieve that fast growth to achieve your big dream. We'll see how we can actually help in your journey. So one is what we are providing you. We are actually providing you this 3D experience platform, which is a ready to use scalable innovation platform. Okay. When you're thinking big, you need to keep in mind, what do you keep in mind? How do I uh, keep everything in an end-to-end coverage, from engineering or from actually from your concept or your from requirements, your detailed engineering, to finally how do you actually can manufacture your vehicle, and how you can actually distribute it to the people, or in other terms if I call, how do you actually make the sale happen. Okay, for this you have this proven solution with many EV workers and OEMs in production. Okay, when you're starting small, how can you actually progress in a step by step way, or each of these phases, how can you actually upgrade to each one of these phases from your validate state to the final state. So in the 3D experience platform, what is available is there are something called roles and applications. Okay, this is kind of exactly tailored for the startup ecosystem. So what happens is, uh, being 3D experience is a very vast platform, right? One needs to understand a complete market scenario, or actually what happens on the shop floor when actually building an electric vehicle. You need to have so much experience to kind of handle and understand all this. But here what we have done is, since you're all starting small, we have small roles and apps which kind of help you kind of have a progression. Let's say now only you want to start a concept, right? So you have one creative designer role with which you'll kind of just focus on how creatively you can kind of build your outer design of your vehicle. Next, once you have that particular design, now you want to build a further more detailed design, right, to take it to the next phase. For this you will have some roles like mechanical and shape designer, right, where you can actually kind of design the entire trim of the vehicle or the structure of the vehicle. After that, now you want to know, kind of take it to the next further step in your engineering detailed design, that is simulation. So why simulation? When you're actually building a vehicle and if you're planning to put it on the road, so there are certain laws or certain certifications each of the vehicle that needs to pass it, right? So that is kind of the automotive bodies like SAE or RI, they kind of have certain standards where your vehicle has to meet them. Only then it is kind of fit to be on the road. To achieve this, you can actually test all various scenarios, like for example, you have seen the crash tests of the vehicle, right? So how they perform the different crash tests for different aspects. So to eliminate, so for a startup it's not easy to first of all build a product, right, to build a completely full blown electric vehicle, and to kind of again take it and put it to a crash test. You know how much physical effort is being put, how much cost is involved in all that, and how much it actually kind of gets it to kind of certify that particular vehicle. To do it again and again is kind of huge wastage, or it kind of costs you so much money. To avoid this, what you can do is you can actually replicate the entire, or you can actually build your entire digital twin on the platform. And then there are various solutions where you can actually perform this flow simulations for your aerodynamics, or for that fact, if you want to perform your crash test analysis, you can kind of completely do it on the virtual, and till to a certain point that you are actually feeling comfortable. Okay, with this particular parameters, whatever I have achieved the result, this is the best fit result, and this is the certified result. And then you can actually perform a real test where your risk to win ratio will be 1:1, where you have completely saved cost on all this physical testing by doing the virtual certification, and only when you are happy, you are going for the final physical prototype test. So that's what you can do. That's how that's how these roles will help you in kind of step by step upgrading phases. Next is how easy to deploy this is. So the solution is available on cloud and on premise. Okay, so what happens with on cloud is all you need to do is make a request that you would need to use this particular role for your design process, and it is just one click away. You accept it and the role is granted, and you just download the code on your machine and then start using it. It is that simple. Okay, and then how can you actually grow fast? So this platform, why you can actually grow fast is it kind of offers you a very simple and unified user experience, and it's a very scalable solution. Okay, you can start using this particular solution just from your garage at your home to multiple locations across the worldwide when you're actually growing that fast. So that is the flexibility in terms of usage. Moreover, that what it actually provides you is the complete digital continuity, what we call. Let's from that is from the concept phase to the sales phase. Everywhere you have that digital continuity, you can track back to any phase, and moreover that you can reuse your existing created parts everywhere. You can check the feasibility. You have the complete traceability, that if your product, what you're building is actually, is it matching your requirements, or where are you missing? So these things actually kind of play a very major role in taking important decisions in the journey. So so if you are guys are a startup, so we'll just ask you a very simple question. What if you were supported by Dassault Systems along with the KPIT team to kind of accelerate your entrepreneurial journey? What that actually will give you, right? So, and actually what is that value that you get for a startup? Okay, your team will be kind of supported in the adoption of the 3D experience platform, where you can actually start with your concept and travel to the that manufacturing journey. So you will be supported by a team of designers and mobility experts to kind of continuously who will support you to boost your project, and also to we will support you in reducing your risk by prototyping and testing the experience and user adoption. Okay, which will kind of help you to get your product sooner to the market. And also we will help you in increasing your chance to convince the investors who will actually believe in you, and provide you the capital to upscale your firm or the startup to its next level. So this is the differentiating value which both Dassault Systems as a cyber physical partner provides you with, along with the KPIT team. Top of this, we also provide you the onboarding support, where we'll help you in deploying a platform, and the maintenance is completely it's on us. It's jointly supported by Dassault Systems online services team and KPID. And again, we will also help you with the content. So it's not only that we will give you some solution and you're on your own. No, it's definitely not like that. Here you will also get the solution, and on top of that you will have the complete training content available to you, which is actually the industry grade content, many of the industries who actually use it. Okay, so this kind of access you will be given, where you will be able to learn it in very easy manner and implement it in your success journey. Okay, So what are the top values for the e-mobility startups? What 3D experience platform on cloud offers? One thing is it gives you the business continuity access on the go. So when Siddharth was showing some of the solution, he mentioned certain dashboards and accessibility of the data, right? So what actually it means is 3D experience platform can be accessed on your smartphone. You can actually design with the specialized applications like X design or X generative design or so and so, or you can do your creation idea. You can build your own community, you can have a interaction with your team members, or if some activity is assigned to you, you will get the notifications to your mobile itself that this is activity needs to be completed, because following timeline and deadlines is something very important in this journey, right? So every support is given. You can document each and every one of your work you can do, right? So this gives you the business continuity on the go. Okay. So earlier stages for days, what used to happen is if you have a 3D CAD model or some CAD model for that fact, if you want to open it, you needed a laptop, and you required a software to be installed, and you need to be present over there. But now with the 3D experience platform, we have kind of eliminated that silo where you can actually load that 3D model just on your mobile web browser, so that you will be able to navigate through what are the chances to be made. And let's say if somebody else is working, and if you want to give him some ideas or advices on what can be the betterments, you can just make some comments over it, and the other person will be able to download, kind of work on that model. So that is the flexibility what it covers, and that is what business continuity on the access on the go means. Second is on the cloud, your total infrastructure cost will come down, where you will not need to have very expensive servers or hardware to power your innovation. So your total operational cost reduces significantly. Then with this, when the total operational cost reduces, your return on investment is also kind of very high, right? And real-time collaboration between different stakeholders is possible. Let's put it this way. Now you are a startup operating from India, right? Now you have a partner somewhere in USA or Germany, or for that fact Australia somewhere. How are you going to collaborate with him, right? So to share data, you are not sure about the security. How am I going to share the data? How can I kind of collaborate with him? How can I give him access to my content, so that I know that my data is secure? You kind of invite him in the platform, and different stakeholders from different geographies can come in a single place. And the best part is, even if your friend or some designer or a test engineer who actually wants to work, and he's actually based in Germany, and he can work on your design concurrently with you. That means two or more people can work on the model at the same time. So that's what we called as multi-location real-time collaboration. So that is actually a possibility, and with the 3D experience platform on cloud. Coming to the main part, so now uh, so the entire solution, whatever we have showed you so far or explained, so under academia packaging, it is available as different packages. Maybe for a mechanical, if somebody wants to plan their project management, for them it's governance, they will have the project management related roles and applications available in a bundle. And if somebody wants to focus on just design and engineering, you have certain 3D innovator and 3D experience engineer bundles, where it will kind of help you and give you that applications and the roles, which will help you to just do your design and engineering part. And then again, similarly, there are different bundles like style designer, engineering expert, systems designer for systems engineering, simulation engineering engineer for anything related to simulations, or production engineer to plan your manufacturing, and so and so, and the virtual storyteller to kind of build your rendering assets for your marketing purpose. So these are all dedicated packages available to you. So it's actually up to you that how you actually want to leverage the entire platform. So if I was in your shoes, I would completely go ahead with the platform, and I would definitely use it from my initial journey to the final journey, because it kind of gives me that flexibility of digital continuity. So I don't need to be dependent on any other software outside of 3D experience platform. right? So it kind of helps me in eliminating all the silos where I don't need to import or export the result from different softwares. When you do that, you will kind of lose that quality in the data, and you will kind of lose that track where is what is happening, what am I supposed to do, how am I going to trace it back. So that is the main core of 3D experience platform. It kind of gives you that end-to-end digital continuity to help in your startup journey. So with this, we will come to some of the 3D experience platform adopted organizations. So Tesla is the number one among them. So their goal was, they kind of could efficiently engineer a vehicle from the ground up, that is from scratch, with an electric powertrain. They could achieve that with the 3D experience platform. Okay, so the collaboration between the different designers, because what happens is so many people come into picture when designing a car, because it's not just one part, but it is made up of more than thousands of parts, right? So different people will be there for who will have different responsibilities, deadlines. So platform made it very easy for them, and they were possible to build their market product and bring it to market at the earliest. Again, second, the no data translation limit delays. So that's what I meant. So when you're using your uh, different softwares, you need to import export that data from different softwares to other softwares. So here your data might get corrupted, or it might increase in your lead time. So this silo is completely eliminated, so you will have that one platform powering all your innovation needs and all other needs as well. So this is how the Tesla uses. And then there is Canoe. So this is also one more EV company. So basically, they are kind of they have built their product using 3D Experience platform supported by 3D Experience Lab to they're building this subscription based model. It's like a taxi where one can just take it on a subscription based. And coming into a little luxury cars, so Rimac is one more who have adopted this electromobility accelerator solution. So they wanted to kind of design this very high performance electric vehicle or the powertrain, and very efficient battery systems. They were able to achieve their goals with the help of 3D experience platform. And why to leave the sport market? So as you can see, Crizzle Electric is a super sport car. So they kind of wanted to transfer their old Porsche model from ICE based to the electric supercar. So they were actually able to achieve it with the 3D experience platform, with the 50% reduction in the entire development cycle. That is, let's say, if it takes 5 years to build an entire car on an ICE, or for that fact with any other solution, it took them just 2.5 years to build and get their product on road. So that's how the value of 3D experience platform, it's a 3D experience platform supported Crystal Electric in adopting, in their EV journey.